Hi, everybody. It's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wintz. It is Wednesday evening, 9:33 right now. So if you're watching this any later, information should still be valid. So keep that in mind. I want to get you a quick update before our broadcast here on what we're expecting overnight tonight. I got a couple of you private message us, and asked about storm chances tonight. How much rain are we expecting tonight? Is there any severe weather back coming in tonight? So I want to kind of highlight for you. I think that's a question on everyone's mind. So we're going to let a couple people join here. I'm going to run the open for you, and then we'll get right to it. We'll get you in and out here this evening on this special edition of Region Weather Live. And thanks for tuning in before bedtime, everybody. It's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wintz. Good to be with you tonight. Let's get right to it again. You see our sponsors there on the left-hand side of the screen. They are just wonderful. If you want to support Region Weather, please support them. We have a wonderful family of sponsors, all from Northwest Indiana. They're on your left-hand side. So here's what we've got right now. We had a severe thunderstorm earlier. It's interesting because I put the message out about it. I was watching that storm with the hail. We had some hail reports coming in to our Facebook page. And then I put that messaging out. I put that post out about the storm not being severe, but we need to treat it like it's severe. And lo and behold, a second later, the Weather Service went ahead and warned it for some of that hail. And there were incredible hail pictures coming in from you guys from that storm as it moved through the Couts area, eventually out towards La Crosse. And then it was out of the viewing area after moving through Stark County. So really impressive storm. Here's what we've got tonight, and here's kind of what we dealt with earlier today. It's the same setup. We don't have a huge risk for severe weather. There's not a threat for tornadoes or anything like that. The atmosphere is not structured that way. Plus, it's in the 40s. So there's that. But we still have the heavy rain risk. And so here's what we're looking at on radar is kind of this. This is literally the atmospheric river of moisture that's coming into the West Coast, which still is. This stream of moisture comes all the way out of the Pacific Ocean and comes right up through Missouri and right through Northwest Indiana with a lot of moisture overhead. So this is kind of a messy setup. It's not one of those where we get a cold front that comes through and then we're all fine. We're done with the rain. This is a constant renewal of moisture that's coming in. So even if we get a heavy downpour, we can get more heavy downpours after that. It's not relying on anything to clear the area before, more rain and more storms develop. So it's kind of a constant stream of showers and thunderstorms, if you will. Where we've settled into, here's the storms that we had earlier. They're over towards eastern Ohio. We've kind of calmed down with just some showery weather. There's some dense fog off towards the north as well. There's no reason for lift right now in the atmosphere, but down towards the south, there's another impulse coming across areas in Missouri. This is kicking up showers and embedded thunderstorms, and these are going to roll in tonight with some heavy rain, perhaps some lightning as well. We're structured atmospherically to produce some lightning, but the main threat is going to be what we had earlier, which is some hail. There's very cold air aloft, as you often find in early spring. And that cold air aloft helps as these thunderstorms grow to produce some hail. Middle of the summertime, you may be able to get hail if you get some cold air aloft, but sometimes, that's hard to come by. So hail would be the primary threat. Do I think we'll get severe weather tonight? I really don't think so. I don't think we're going to pop a warning. Could we get some stronger thunderstorms? Sure. The chance is still there that we would, but my gut says that we're not going to. We're just going to get heavy rain with some lightning out of this, okay? So let me take you through the models real quickly, then I'll answer your questions as we go throughout tonight. Here's what the models do with it. This is the latest HRRR run. You can see how it develops that activity back towards Missouri. It looks accurate to me. And then it moves in with heavy rain here. This is around the midnight hour, 1 o'clock. We're getting some heavy rain. Newton, Jasper County, you might get some heavier rain, maybe a little bit more lightning out of that. Again, the further south you are, the higher your instability. It's not off the charts, but there's a little bit. So then that moves through, and notice how we're still in the rain and rumbles tomorrow morning. This is 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. There's your morning rush hour right in there. Still some showers around. What will be happening at this time, though, is there's a frontal boundary out towards the north, and that frontal boundary is going to work through tomorrow. So it's going to turn kind of raw. We're going to stay right in the upper 40s, low 50s, all the way through about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to be a mild night tonight. If you typically have the heater on, it probably won't kick on tonight because it's going to be pretty warm outside. And then what happens tomorrow morning, that morning rush hour, if you're getting up early, you're going to notice like, hey, it feels like spring. We're really going to have a spring-like day. No, dress for winter tomorrow, because what will happen is that front will pass by. We're going to bring in wind off the lake, and there's a pretty cool air mass north of us. Temperatures are going to fall all day through the 40s. We'll end up in the 30s later in the day. I would imagine we'll have low clouds and probably some fog off Lake Michigan. That happens when we have a lot of moisture still in the atmosphere, but we bring cold air into it. It's going to be kind of a raw afternoon and evening. And an overall pretty raw day. So there's that. Most of the rain will settle down towards the south. You see how during tomorrow afternoon, we kind of lose that ability for the air to lift. It'll just be kind of dreary. Still some drizzle around as well. And then tomorrow night, we get this renewed area of energy again. This is why the flood threat is occurring downstate, down towards the Ohio River Valley. Mississippi River is going to fill up from this. They're expecting a lot of rain from that. And this continues into the morning Friday. What happens Friday afternoon is everything stays south. We've got kind of a raw wind out of the northeast, but then another low will develop down towards Missouri, and this will come north and bring this whole boundary north with another surge of moisture Friday night and Saturday. You can see the beginning of it starting to stream back here. Temperatures will bump up a little bit. I don't think we're going to be really on the warm side of this. They'll be in the 70s as you get out towards the east, but for us, I don't think we get too warm. Just another round of rain Friday night and then into Saturday. So that's kind of where we go with it. So in terms of severe weather threat tonight, again, I don't see much of a threat. We could have some hail with storms. The atmosphere set up that way. There's not a tornado risk with this. There's a heavy rain risk and some lightning. Gusty winds, I don't really see a lot of that either in terms of thunderstorm wind damage and stuff like that, okay? All right, so that's what I've got for you. Any questions you have, be happy to answer those. I told you this to be quick. These are the best, right? Get you on your way, what you need to know. And as always, this is bonus broadcast for our sponsors, but you see them up above me there. If you could support them, that would be awesome because they support us. Let's see. Ruth says we had that storm go right over us here in Lowell. Yeah, crazy hail. That's where it started, Ruth, as it moved through. A lot of you sent me pictures of the ground completely covered white. It looked like it snowed outside. That was a very efficient hail-producing thunderstorm. The hail wasn't huge, right? It was sub-severe for a lot of that, but certainly was packing a punch, and it did it long enough that it accumulated pretty quickly. So pretty incredible. Yeah, Rob says that too. Had some good hail and couch tonight, enough to whiten the ground. Yep, we got some pictures in, Rob, of that. So appreciate that. Hi, Kim. Been a while. You're welcome. Kim, you're missing us on Sunday nights. We're doing every Sunday night, and then when weather, obviously does stuff like this where we have some questions. So it's good to see you again. Brent is celebrating his 40th anniversary tomorrow. Brent, that's awesome, man. That's fantastic. That's a long time. And I'm sure you're just as in love now as you were back then, right? I actually believe you are. I really do. Maxwell says the hail was cool, looked like snow on the ground. Yeah, incredible. It's incredible and hail forms totally different than snow does, right? Hail is formed by sometimes violent. I mean, these were pretty decent updrafts and downdrafts where that ice ball gets tossed up and down until it gets heavy enough to fall. Whereas, snow's more of a gentle process where it falls down. But there's enough updraft and downdraft in these thunderstorms, and there will continue to be tonight, that we could have some more hail out of this. Let's see. Mike says, could you be just me? But it seems like every system has come through here in the past 2 months is underperformed. My boss keeps saying we're going to get some kind of major snowstorm now that it's spring. Yeah, that's interesting, Mike. We just haven't had any storms that have said they're going to perform. Back in the early winter, we did. I remember the storm that the GFS and Euro was painting. Remember, it had totals that were like 20, 30, 35 inches. And then it got scaled down to like 8 to 12. And then I think we ended up getting like 3 to 5 out of that. That's the only one I can think of. But really, Mike, there's another storm next week that's going to have some snow potential with it on the backside, depending on how it develops. But I don't see any major snowstorms. And as we get into April, our chances get real slim for something. And if we do get something, it lasts for, 5 hours before it starts to melt off. So, and we've had snow in April for sure. Just to bring up your Cubs comment, for sure. We've had snow in April before, but it's certainly nothing that sticks around. All right. That's interesting. Andrew asked a good question. With the low snow this winter, how does that impact drought conditions for spring and summer? Andrew, we're sitting pretty right now. We're okay. We've had low snow, but we've had more rain. The rain has been enough to get us good to go as we get into the springtime. I know a lot of farmers are concerned with that. There is still some slight drought around the region, the Midwest. You get a little bit more as you get up towards or back towards the west. There's some drought conditions that are pretty bad, actually, areas of Kansas and Oklahoma and Nebraska. But for us, we're sitting pretty. We're right where we should be, just slightly below average, depending on what airport location you're looking at. But we're doing well. And given this pattern that's happening right now, and given the pattern that we're going to have over the next couple of weeks, I see no shortage of moisture whatsoever. I think we'll be just fine getting into that. Tim from Discovery Travel says, hi, Matt. A lot of clients flying out for spring break trips this week. Will they have any issues with flights out of the Chicago airports? That's a great question, Tim. Tim, obviously, Discovery Travel that you see up there. Again, they plan anything that you possibly want for a trip, and they do it cheaper than you would do yourself on Airbnb or whatever that happens to be. Tim, I don't see anything as of right now. There may be something, Tim, on Saturday as the storm system comes up. There's going to be a lot of rain and some wind with this one, but Sunday looks good. Tomorrow doesn't look bad out of Chicago. And next week, there's a couple systems coming in, but they don't look to be huge impacts. It depends on how they develop. The Euro has a stronger storm with a little bit of snow around here Tuesday, but I don't see that on the other modeling, so it's too early to call. But I think it's going to be great travel weather. It really is. And these are the kind of temperatures that you just want to get out of Dodge. I mean, 40s, 30s. If it's going to be cold, snow. If it's going to be warm, right? That's kind of how I like to look at it. Mike says, forgot to put this in my other comment. That's okay. Quick question. A couple days ago, it was half sunshine, half snowing. How does this happen? Yeah, Mike, that was when we had that air mass come in, the really cold air mass, which doesn't hold a lot of moisture, right? That was a really cold air mass came in, and we had kind of the checkerboard snow on radar, right? When you have cold air masses, they don't hold a lot of moisture, so you don't tend to have a lot of clouds. That's why when we get polar air in here in January and February, it tends to come with a lot of sunshine outside of lake effect clouds, right? So in that setup, we had dry air in place, so there wasn't a lot of cloud cover, but there was enough instability from the heating of the Earth's surface to pop these popcorn-like, almost like thunderstorms in the summer where you get those pop-ups. It was like that, except with snow squalls and snow showers. So because of the cold, dry air, we didn't have a lot of clouds, and those clouds popped because of the sunshine, and so you were able to get that mix. We had the same thing at my house when we had the snow, and then the sun was out at the same time. We were having a squall. Really fascinating, and you'll get that a lot in the spring. You also get that late fall a lot when you have cold air masses with pretty warm sun angle, pretty high sun angle. It happens to do that. So great question, as always. Penny, you were absolutely welcome. Appreciate you as well. So just in recap, guys, we're going to get some more rain tonight. We'll have some rumbles of thunder. There's a chance of some hail moving in with this little cluster right here that's developing back towards Missouri now. Do we get a severe storm? I don't think so tonight. I don't think it's anything you have to worry about. Just in case we do get more hail, if you typically park in the garage and you're parked outside, may want to bring it in, just to mitigate the risk. But other than that, I really don't think it's going to be much of an issue. Although we will have some thunder and lightning around tonight, especially Newton, Jasper County. You stand the biggest chance of that tonight. Everything kind of settles down tomorrow. We bring cold, raw air in here tomorrow. It's going to be coming off the lake. We'll probably have fog with that as well. And then we'll do this all over again with warmer air coming back into the picture and more rain Friday night and Saturday. Okay. Linda, great question. I'll answer that before we go because I've got a broadcast here in about 10 minutes. So Iowa, you're heading to Iowa 6 a.m. tomorrow. You should be okay. Yeah, we'll have showers around here. It's better back towards Iowa, but it's going to be cooler. So keep that in mind. Let me show you real quick the temperatures, kind of the temperature story here. Here's the warmth tonight. We stay in the 50s. Iowa's in the 30s, depending on where you're going. And then watch what happens. So we kind of hold that tomorrow. Morning, we're in the 50s, and then notice that cold air comes off the lake with that north wind. We've got 30s and 40s moving in here, and we kind of stay there in the 30s tomorrow night. Friday looks kind of raw. We're in the 40s, and then we start to recover as this system comes in briefly on Saturday. So in terms of your temperatures, it just gets colder as you get out towards the west. Shouldn't have any problems in Iowa, though. You really shouldn't. Okay? Have a very safe trip, Linda. All right? Okay, guys, we will let you go. We appreciate you. Again, nothing to worry about tonight. You may be woken up by a couple rumbles of thunder, maybe the pitter-patter of hail, but it shouldn't be anything too bad, all right? All right, thanks for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday evening, all right? Bye.